Hello, welcome everybody. Another time of good learning and good fun. Let's go. This is Ali, that's
What's going on,
Dre,
guys?
and
What's going on?
my name is Micah. Do you guys want to introduce yourself a little more?
I'll start at this point. I'm Ali. I'm the owner of M2 FICO Forge, co-founder and owner of M2 FICO Forge. I'm also the co-founder and owner of the Score Machine. My business partner is on my screen, he's to my left. I don't know where it is on everybody else's screen, but we have founded these beautiful softwares to help the communities get to where they want to achieve in life. We've been successful, the both of us together, so at the end of the day, the sentiment is to share our wealth of knowledge with the people.
Beautiful,
Awesome.
beautiful.
Dre, you want to introduce
So
yourself?
my name is Dre or DeAndre or Dre the Dimer. I am also a co-owner in a of our software in our Metro 2 software as well. It's where we're teaching people how to take control of their finances, on how to fix their own credit and not depend on somebody else, and then also how to go get business funding afterwards. Because a lot of people don't know how to leverage their credit report, so that's what we also teach as well.
Awesome. Great introductions. Let's get to some questioning.
hmm
So, when it comes to business funding, what role do you think systems play in achieving long-term success?
Go, Trey. I know that.
Beautiful.
That's all you, baby.
You guys are so funny. I think softwares and systems will help any business long term. Why? Because when you start growing and scaling, if you're working in the business, it's a lot harder to scale. I believe that you can work in the business to get it started, to get it going, to start generating positive income and a good like path. You can work in your business, but there's a point when you're working in the business, it's time to scale. You can't do that by working in the business. You need softwares and automations for that to happen.
Agreed.
It's getting easier and easier every day. Every successful business needs a strong system for finances. How does having a well-managed credit profile tie into building a sustainable financial system for your business?
Let's be real. Well-managed credit profile is huge, but
hmm
it's not about the profile itself. It's about the constant of what's in the profile. Because yes, we can have a good score, but if the profile is made of, I'm just going to say fake accounts, authorized users, fake primaries and things like that, that are going to, on for 30 days off after, it changes the validity of the account and how the bank looks at the account. So when we look at it from the business funding standpoint, you need strong accounts in the start to actually get you to where you need to be, to get those higher limits, to get those big money loans and things like that. Because at the end of the day, you really do want to hit two, three, four, $500,000 in funding in your business, because your business can achieve greater wealth and height with that amount of money. So that's
hmm
where, having that strong profile ties to building a strong business and also growing your business to a level that is never been seen before by having those strong profiles.
You want to add on to that, Dre?
No, I definitely agree with him. It's just when you're growing your business and when you need a better report, having systems is definitely gonna make that stuff easier for to come to happen. That's for sure.
Awesome. So a lot of entrepreneurs struggle to build the right systems in their business. When it comes to credit and funding, how can having the right system in place set a business up for success?
Go, Dre. Go.
Gotcha. So having the right systems in place, what kind of success will that bring? It's a difference between having 100 clients replying to you and 1,000 clients replying to you. Again, you can make or break a business by giving them a lot of people. You can make them by if their systems and softwares is set in place, they're gonna go to the moon. But again, if I give that same person 1,000 leads and they don't have their system, they don't have their software set in place, they're gonna crash and burn. Why? They can't do fulfillment. They don't have their system set up. They can't do outreach or outbound messages. Why? They don't have their stops. They don't have their systems set up. So again, if you want to start a business, need it is mandatory that you have systems and software set in place so you can take a lot of the burden off of you from growing.
Do you guys have a good example of a specific system you guys have?
So one of our systems, which we just created, is the score machine. That system really, we call it the before and after system. It's
Mm.
before if you need credit. So it gives you that need credit repair, excuse me. If you need credit repair, it's understanding what you actually need to fix. And then the after system is the funding section of that in the score machine that will actually look at your file and say, okay, you're ready. Here's all the breakdowns of where you need to go in and go get yourself the money that you're looking for. Because that's really what it is. It's breaking down that system inside of a system to grow yourself instantly. That's how we can handle, because let's be real, we were funding clients by hand. We were doing paperwork by hand. We had writings. Even if you're using a Google Sheet, to a certain point, the Google Sheet is okay. But when you want to go back later in the future to go see what you funded yourself with, see what you've got, and see how you can tweak, that system's going to be very prevalent for your future growth and how you can now move and navigate the waters better with your funding and credit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Systems just help you become more efficient, and it kind of keeps you accountable too. Because once you have a system, it helps the other systems get even better. So, what do you think is the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make when it comes to their credit and financial systems? And how does that impact their ability to grow?
I think a lot of people wait until they need their credit to start working on their credit.
Mm.
A lot of times when people say, all right, they come to us either for business funding as well. My biggest thing is I would like to have the money before I actually need it, because once I need it, I don't want to go get it. Because again, in that whole process, if I need it tomorrow, if I start looking for it today, I might not get it for another 2 weeks, depending on where
Mm-hmm.
I go. So again, that's why a lot of people don't. A lot of people are reactive instead of proactive.
Mm-hmm.
If you're proactive, that means you know, okay, I'm gonna start a business. I need to start a business, okay, which means I'm gonna need business funding, which means I need you to get my credit report together. So a lot of people don't think about the granular things. Like I need to start getting my credit report together now, because when I do need it, I don't want to have to wait to get it to repair it, or I don't want to wait to 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go get funding.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
I agree. I agree
Add
with
on to
that.
that.
Well, I would also add another entrepreneurial mistake is they're not making money. A lot of business owners really think that you can start something with nothing. Where in today's day and age, you have to have some investment capital. And I'm not talking about a ginormous amount. We're not talking, 30, 40 years ago where you need $500,000 to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking now a few $1,000s being in the sentiment to start your business and be able to create, even to run ads and things like that. They think that there is no investment involved, and that's the key. You need to have a tiny bit of investment ready to rock and roll to be able to scale, to be able to start getting that money in your accounts, because that's a key too. Having
Mm-hmm.
that banking relationship with the money in your account it opens up doors just by having money in that account. And that's a really big sentiment of how big a door you can open by just having money and making money.
Yeah, that's awesome. We all know systems are key when scaling a business, but many entrepreneurs overlook their credit profiles. How can the score machine help integrate credit management into the business's overall system?
So just plain simple, just a lot of people think, well, and it's true, a lot of people, it's a fact that credit repair is very tedious. It's confusing sometimes. There's a lot of information that we need to know so we can fully understand our credit report. The software like the score machine, it breaks down your report in a way where it takes all the guesswork out. So that means when you're taking all the guesswork out, if you're in position, I do need to use my credit report. I don't even understand credit. I don't even understand the three bureaus. What are those? So if you're at that stage, using something like a score machine will put you light years ahead of somebody else who's in a similar boat, but they're not using this software. Why? Because you're gonna be able to go to one spot and have everything broken down for you, so you know which categories or which sections you need to go improve on.
Agreed. Agreed. Just using the score machine to just view your profile every month gives you a better breakdown every single month of what you're actually looking for and what you're actually doing. Very simple sentiment of that is just being able to see every single month of what's in front of me. I mean, I don't think that in any which way, in shape and form, that having that level of data that we have in the score machine can hurt you or hinder you in any which way.
Yep, it's good. So systems are about creating predictability and consistency. How can building a strong credit profile lead to more predictable access to funding and business growth?
Gotcha. So when you have a strong credit report, you can almost guarantee, or you can almost gauge on how much you're gonna get funding. Why? Because when you know the certain requirements that the banks look for, the banks don't look for white, black, Mexican, purple, pink. They look for, do you have a good credit report? Do you have the requirements that we're looking for? Yes. Well, then you're looking at between this and this every single time. Why? Because we're only giving people this and this amount if they meet this and this requirement. So again, when you meet those certain requirements, you can almost gauge on, yes, I'm going to get approved for this much from this bank, this much from this bank, this much from this bank, which means I can know how much money I'm going to be available to play with, to invest with.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Good. You want to add on to that, Ali?
Actually, I think he hit all the talking points. I think he did perfect.
Perfect. Look at that. What a great answer. Building a system to track and improve your credit sounds complicated. How does a score machine simplify this process for business owners looking to scale?
Ooh, this is an easy one. So, Score Machine does one thing really, really good, and it gives you the analytical breakdown of your data. So, once you have all that data imported into the AI looks at every data point that's on there, from your debt utilization to your total revolving amounts to oldest open accounts. It gives you every breakdown that you have that you need. So when you have that breakdown on your personal account, right, it gives you the opportunity to go into the bank and know exactly what you can do with your actual profile. Let's be real. If I go into the bank and I was like, I think my credit is good, and I go in there and they're like, here's $5,000. Yeah, you could do something with $5,000, but if I walk into the same bank, run my system through the score machine with all the information that I have, go into that same bank from my business account, and now see I can get 50,000. That is a 10x increase by just knowing my data points and knowing that my credit is actually good, knowing that where it needs to be. And our numbers are conservative. Our numbers are not even the actual numbers that the banks are looking for. We're more conservative than the bank, so that when you truly walk in there, you're walking in there primed.
That's good. Yeah, it's the difference between having a good credit profile and having a great credit profile.
Yep.
Many entrepreneurs focus on the big picture, but they often miss the small details that add up. How can a tool like the score machine help business owners spot these details when it comes to credit and funding?
Well, one thing is, for when you're breaking down, especially when you're starting a funding company, a lot of
Hmm.
let's bring it back. A lot of people, when you're doing a credit repair company, a lot of people overlook the consultation. A lot of people
Hmm.
overlook the importance of a consultation, meaning that's the first time that you are literally being an expert to the client, meaning you're selling yourself. That's the hook for the client. So a lot of people they overlook that part. Now with the score machine, you can start fresh, meaning you don't know anything about credit repair and you're just having your number one first client. Instead of sounding like a newbie, like, yeah, this is your first client. When you're using the score machine, it speeds you up light years ahead. So now it breaks down everything in a way where it allows you to sound like this is your 100th client and not your first client.
Hmm.
When you move towards the funding side, a lot of people overlook certain aspects. What's the person's credit utilization? Because again, a lot of people just look at the report. Oh, do they have any negatives? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, do they have any inquiries? Yes, no, maybe so. A lot of people don't see the utilization on the credit report, which they overlook that part. So they just say, hey, if I just knock off all these negative remarks, now you're good. But the score machine actually shows that yes, you have negatives on your report, but you also that credit utilization also needs work. So you're not overlooking that part as well.
It's good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better.
Perfect. So, how do systems help you identify and solve financial bottlenecks in your business? And could tools like the score machine help spot potential problems before they become larger issues?
Let's just touch base exactly what Dre just said. Utilization. That's a
Mm.
bottleneck.
Yeah.
Utilization is a huge bottleneck. So let's say that we go back to that utilization key, and you're in the utilization, and you see that your utilization is slowly creeping up to that 30% mark. Well, you don't want to get to that 30% mark, because then you become unfundable. So what you
Mm.
want to do is, if you watch it month in and month end, when you start to creep and you start paying back down your credit, that's how you keep yourself ahead of the game, so you don't end up with any bottlenecks. You don't end up with any issues later in the future, because you'll be able to see that month in and month out what's going on, what you're doing when you pull your credit into the software, what's going on, how it's going, and all the breakdowns of everything. And then you can pinpoint which specific item needs to be paid. For example, it's not even just your overall utilization. It could be one card that's hurting you. Okay, you go down to that spot in the file, because it gives you the breakdown, and you could say, okay, just using this as an example, Bank of America is $35 over my limit of the 30%. Let me pay the $35 off. And that will get rid of any bottlenecks, because you're staying in there. Or let me go from the $35, let me pay $300, depending on the limit, and drop it way under the utilization period, so you don't even come near that point, because you don't want to be touching the number. You want to be below the number. You want to be way below the number. So that's what you want to do in that 20, 25, 30%, in the 20, instead of being at 30, you want to be in the 20, 25%.
Just to add on that, one more
Mm.
thing about helping, how can the score machine help when companies are having reaching that bottleneck situation? I've seen a lot of funding companies have some of the similar bottleneck issues when they have two banks that they go funding with, and now they're like, oh, shoot, I don't have anybody else. I don't know any other banks. I don't know any other credit cards that I can take my client to go get approved from. Now with us, when you're using the score machine, now it's a no-brainer. We have all of our options. We've put Ollie and we put our minds inside the AI. So now you don't have to think about it. You can pick from the whole list of banks. So now you can have your two banks that you take your clients to, but now you can have a whole plethora of other banks that you guys can go to now as well, which will stop that bottleneck from happening. I mean, I don't know where else I can take my clients to. Now it's a no-brainer. We have a whole list of places you can take your clients to.
Perfect. And you guys already have relationships with these banks to make it easier to get funding if we go through you?
Ooh,
Yes.
boy.
So we have two options. We have two options for you guys. We have the one where you guys could do the funding yourself. And again, that's the whole list of different banks that we have listed for you guys. So they don't have to. That's Stera be, where is that card? Oh, we already have that all for you. Now, if you request for us to do the funding for you, that's when we will use our banking relationships to go ahead and get you funding for that client. Typically, we have solid relationships. So typically our approvals, if you come with us and have us do it, a done for you service, we're typically going to get you a little more higher limits. But again, you still have the options.
I gotta add to that, shameless plug. We're going to actually create a mentorship program to teach you how to use the done for you section, so you utilize it at the highest level, and then you will get our entrances into the bank with our people in the bank, so that you can then go into the bank and get the same sort of results that we're getting, utilizing the better banking methods in that sense. So yes, you do have the done for you service. If you're already running a funding company, go for it. If you want to try it, go for it. But if you want to start to crack that next tier, so say, look, you hit 150,000 and you want to hit Dre and I's 500,000, you want to hit 700,000, you want to hit $1 million, That's when you come in with us and lock in with us, and we tell you which bank to go to, how to read the report 110%, so you know exactly what needs to do, and then go in and attack that funding profile properly the way we would attack it. So now we're not only having our back end, but we're having hundreds of students that work exactly like us.
Awesome. That's great. That's a good answer. If someone wanted to set up a system for managing their credit and securing funding for their business, where would they start?
Come on, man.
Got it.
That's an easy one. You start right in the scoring machine. Like, that's an easy one. Like, you start right in the scoring machine, because we call it the before and after product for a reason. If you don't know what your credit is, let the AI read it. Let it go through it. Let it do what it needs to do. Because once it does it, once it reads it, it's going to tell you, you either need credit repair, which then you can go right to the link, register for free, and then go in and pay your account once you see everything, or start the funding profile if you're fundable. So at that point, there is no guessing.
Mm-hmm.
You're either ready or you're not.
That's good. Yeah, make it nice and easy.
Mm-hmm.
As businesses scale, credit becomes a key component of their financial system. How does understanding fundability with tools like the score machine help entrepreneurs plan for growth?
Go for it.
So plan for growth. Having something like the score machine, breaking down your report, being able to tell you that yes, you're this much fundable. So if you're all the way fundable, meaning you're gonna get the max amount, that means that if I want to do a future business idea, I know how much funding I'm gonna be able to get. So again, without the score machine, you're guessing. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I meet all the requirements, because if I don't meet the requirements, every indicator that I don't meet is dropping $1,000, $2,000. If I don't have all the requirements, it's 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. But that's because you came in there and you were guessing. You didn't know. Ali and I, we don't deal with guessing. We deal with absolutes. We don't deal with guessing. We deal with absolutes. We're absolutely going to get funding. Why? Because we meet absolutely all the requirements. It's not a guess. So again, when you're not dealing with guessing and when you're dealing with absolutes, it makes your projections a lot more concrete. It makes your projections saying, hey, I need $100,000 for this business idea that I want to do. Well, it's a little more concrete when you're using the score machine, because it breaks down your report in a way that, yes, you're ready, 1,000,000%, or no, you're not ready. Go fix this, this, and this, and now we're 100% ready. We're not guessing. We're going off absolutes.
Perfect. Oh, and then let's say a business owner does get funding. When they go for funding again, will it be easier to get higher limits and funding? And every time after that, does it get easier?
Well, let's break it down simply. Think about it before. When you go in and say you have a light profile, right? And you fund yourself, and now you have a profile that is in 2 years a well-built profile. Good payment history, good cards, good limits. Do you look bad to the bank or do you look good to the bank? You absolutely look good to the bank, because your file is now heavy with positions that you built and relationships that you built with those banks over proper payment history, over proper cards, over proper things that you're doing. That's going to build a heavy relationship with that bank, so that when you do it again in a few years or 2 years, whatever the case may be, those relationships are going to carry over, and it's going to give you that ability to be able to go into that bank. And now, instead of saying, hey, I got a $10,000 limit, hey, can I get a $50,000 limit? Can I get a $60,000 limit? But here's the kicker point. I got to make sure this is the key point. You have to be making money. Just because you have that money doesn't mean, Dre, this is one of your stories, you go out and buy an Escalade with the money that you got. Okay? It does not mean that you do that. It doesn't mean you go out and spend it foolishly. You have to put it into the cash flowing business. When the cash flow can pay that down, pay it off, you're going to look great in front of that bank, especially making those payments on time.
Awesome. So the score machine, how does it save entrepreneurs time when managing their credit and preparing for funding opportunities?
How does it save time?
Yeah.
In so many different ways. It's just we're gonna keep saying the same thing because this is one of the biggest seller points is saving time. No guessing. When an entrepreneur is thinking about growing their business, the last thing that they want to think about, unless you're in the credit repair company or space, the last thing you want to think about is how do I remove a collection? How do I remove a charge off? Is my report ready or not? That's the last thing we want to think about because we need to focus on growing our business. So having something like the score machine eliminates all the guessing. You can literally plug in your login information from the credit monitoring site, and then within seconds, you will have a professional, not a you will have a professional credit repair specialist version of a breakdown of your report. Then in seconds, you can have a underwriting report on seeing if you're fundable or not within seconds. So again, that busy entrepreneur who has 1 million clients, 1 million workers or whatever, you don't have to take hours and hours to figure out what's going on with your report. You don't have to take hours and hours on how to fix your report. You don't have to take hours and hours on seeing if you're ready for funding or going to different banks and getting funding, which means in the grand scheme of things, it shrinks your time down so you can then again focus on your business. And one more thing, like we already talked about, there is no scaling your business without softwares, without systems. So again, if you're wanting to get your credit together because you're in that space of wanting to scale, then again, delegating this time to having a software where it's lights out, where it takes seconds to see where you're at, is key to being able to scale at a rapid.
I'm not gonna say anything. That was perfect.
Perfect. A key to scaling a business is having a system in place for funding. What kind of systems can the score machine provide to streamline access to loans and other funding sources?
I mean, once you get access once your credit profile is ready, it's literally hit a button and now get access to the vault. And that's exactly what it is. It's access to the vault of information. And now it's up to you to go in and pick what you want. It's like a candy store. Vault is a good place because we keep it behind a locked area. But once you're in the vault, it's like a candy store. Just start picking what you want. Start picking what you want and what you need. What's your business? What you're looking for. If you need a credit card, go get a credit card. If you need a personal loan, we got personal loans. If you need a merchant cash advance, we're going to have those. There's going to be a bunch of different things inside the software where you can go and pick what you're looking for your specific company without having guesswork. That's the key.
Awesome. What's the first step in setting up a credit system that will support a growing business? And how does a score machine help entrepreneurs take that first step?
Go for it.
So when you're creating a growing system, right, you have this entrepreneurial growing system. Getting the piece of the score machine is huge because, again, understanding the analysis of everything, that system itself, the way that it was built, is built to be, again, the before and after, is knowing what's going on. Once you know what's going on, the way that you can scale your business is by being able to choose instantly. Once you're fundable, right, being able to go pick a bank, having access directly to that bank's card, not searching their website, not going in and trying to figure out if this is the right one, not going in, knowing what it is. We're going to tell you who it pulls from. We're going to tell you what it is, who the card is. We're going to give you access right to their Learn More page where you can click apply, and know what's going on. We know that you're going to get approved
Mhm.
because of that. So by knowing that, by knowing the sentiment of what I just said, that is going to increase your fundability. That is going to increase your scalability. That is going to increase your ease of use. That is going to increase your time to be able to spend doing what you want and not guesswork. Dre and I spent hours, late nights putting this together so you don't have to. That's how it'll save you time and create that scalability.
Perfect. Do you want to add anything, Dre?
He said that perfectly. He said that perfectly.
Awesome. It looks like we have one more question. This one is, how do you help entrepreneurs create a scalable system for credit and funding? And can the score machine be part of the process from the beginning?
I say that there is no beginning without the score machine because we're all trying to do things the proper way. We want to do things the correct way. So if we want to start a business and we want to do things the correct way, there's one way to do it the fast way, but that might not be efficient. If you want to do things the efficient and the quickest way, there is no starting your business without knowing your credit, which is using the score machine. Again, one more thing that we didn't touch on is another aspect about, well, I don't know how to do funding because I don't know which banks to go to because I go to banks that pull from experience, but now I'm getting denied. Well, now we have options where we're going to show you which banks pull from which bureaus, which again helps you guys from having run against these issues of getting all these inquiries in the same bureau, which is going to hinder you when you're going long-term funding. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So just things like that where we set things in place where it takes, again, all the guesswork out. It takes all the guesswork out. We put systems in place, steps in place for you guys to just know what's wrong with my credit report in seconds, how to get business funding in seconds, which banks to go to in seconds. So again, you're back down to focusing on your business and not where to go get your credit repair done, which banks to go to, how much you're going to get funding from. We take all that guesswork out. So again, focus on your business.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Ollie, do you have do you have anything to add?
Again, I usually don't have to follow up this man. This
Mm-hmm.
man is just pristine.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you guys so much for the time. Thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week, everybody.
See you next week, everybody.